I used to get paid this way. The cash used to go that way. Plug.
Fuck that, Abdul. Cut that. The average attention span of a human is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Believe it or not.
It takes a big heart to share an experience like that, bro. A complete stranger. But then at the end of the day, no matter what you have, if you don't have that kind of peace of mind within yourself, I don't think the things around you would last either. That it's okay to fail, and it's okay to make mistakes, and that's like the key thing to learning.
Alright guys, welcome back to another episode. Thanks for tuning. My name is Abdul and you are here with the boys. We have Shavan the Bandanaka and Jason Holangamo. This is a very special episode because we have a guest. I think he's a very knowledgeable guest, to be honest. He has a lot of knowledge about business, a lot about, figuring shit out by himself, and I think Jason has the best introduction for him.
Okay, so our next guest episode number 2, and overall I think this is episode number 12. Our next guest is a certified G and a bona fide stud. He is a self-proclaimed professor in thugonomics. He is none other than Melvin Mervyn. Melvin Mervyn.
Yeah.
How's it going, champ?
Thanks for having me, boys. Fucking sick intro.
Thank you. I think about it in the shower.
I was gonna say that, yeah.
So Jason builds his intros in the shower. And for Himatos about build the intro, a pretty sick intro, and for you also, build something into it.
Yeah, Melvin, why don't you introduce yourself to the people and let them know who you are?
Introduce myself. My name's Melvin Mervyn. I'm pretty sure if you have heard it, you would have laughed at it at least one point in your life. And
Okay.
I'm 21 now. I'm 21. I'm doing my undergrad. I'm working. Fucking living life, bro. Living my best life.
Good to hear.
But how long have I known each of you? I think I've known Jason the longest.
How long is that? Because we've known each other since grade 3.
Jason, grade. Is
One.
it 4? I think
Grade
4. Started.
Was it grade 3?
No, not 1.
I think it was for 4G. 4G push. Wait,
4G
1, I can't remember.
1 was, I don't know. 1, I can't remember. Tavish was in my grade 1.
But then where are you working? Where are you working, Melvin? What do you do?
Currently, I'm doing like a trainee thing at DFCC Bank. Like my first corporate exposure, like real corporate exposure. And fuck, corporate was something else, bro. Like the politics inside the environment is like, I've never seen anything like that. There's so much happening to cut each other off.
Alright, Melvin, so where do you work, bro? And what do you do? Oh, you told me where you worked. What do you do at work, bro?
So currently, I'm in this unit called digital banking, where we do enable digital products for the customers. So it's basically taking banking online. So you can do your transactions online, and you can avoid the hassle of going to a bank and going through the traditional route. So it's more basically mainly what we do is look into innovation. So like the degree I'm following now is also into digital innovation. So it makes sense for me. The training makes sense more.
Yeah, that's interesting. But also, Melvin, I always know that, whenever I think about your name, it's always very synonymous to hustle. Because you are one of those people that, you always have your hands full. You're getting into different shit, always getting involved with a lot of things, making contacts, even like networking with a lot of people.
Yeah.
So like, how did all of that start? How did you sort of decide one day, you want to be able to try different things and sort of try to explore around a little bit and figure out something that you want to do?
So like it started like most probably like during A-levels, right? So during A-levels, I think few of the boys know the story. Where my dad made me go in the bus. He's like, fuck your shit, like just come home in the bus after school. And like during that period, I met a lot of individuals that opened like reality for me. Because like, to be honest, half of us are spoiled. Like we were spoiled. Like we were not spoiled, you can say privileged to an extent. you know,
Yeah.
we had everything given to us.
Yeah, we are privileged.
So like when I started going there, like when I started seeing people that, you know, had a different life to what I had, that like opened up a different like kind of perspective for me to see, okay, like life isn't as what I thought it was. Like for me, like, you know, you finish school, you go to uni, and then life starts there for you. But for these guys, like life started way ahead for them. Like the real hustle for them started when, you know, when they had to provide for the family on their own. So I was like, you know, if I'm the only way I can learn about it is communicating and finding out more about other people's experiences. So that's how the famous my Tuk stories started happening. Like I'm pretty sure all the boys that I heard at least one
We all
story of
know.
mine. So like I don't know,
Bro, you have to tell us at least one of these stories, dude.
That's another reason we wanted to get you on, dude. We want the world to know about your Tuk stories.
no bro,
'Cause
it's
they need to be heard.
interesting because like
Sorry.
my singular was like properly bad like in school. Like I started learning a bit more of the language by communicating with these two guys. And like the thing I liked the most during that time was like these buggers didn't give a fuck about like who I was or, you know, my whether I was working or whether how old I was. They just respected the fact that, you know, I was able to hold a conversation with them and like we were able to converse. And like that's not something you can go and do with like a big corporate head. The moment they see you, they're like like they respect you for what your tag is or, you know, who you know. But then these guys, they if you're able to talk to them, they're good to go. So like that's how I learned the whole the, you know, work hard or try new things. Because like I don't think like this is something like I've always thought like school doesn't give you that thing of experiment. Like, you know, you come to A levels, you do science or commerce. Like there is no like a mix where you can experiment, see what you're really good at.
Exactly, you know.
So that kind of thing was like,
Yeah, it's a very rigid system.
but then it's a system that's like now that we are a bit older and like we understand how it works now. It's a system that's good, but then again, there should be more innovation in it.
Melvin, don't you think that school should make sure that every student learns shit about finance, learns shit about managing your expenses and all of
Yeah,
that?
especially personal finance, no.
Yeah, personal finance. Don't you
I
think?
think that's commerce basically, almost
Not
somewhat like
really.
commerce.
Even though it's commerce, they don't teach you the actual, how do I say, the value of money. To manage your money, right? You should know the value of it. If you don't know value,
How much you should appreciate it.
like that's what I like. For me, when I had my first job, I used to get paid. I used to get paid this way. The cash used to go that way. So I had no skills of managing my money. But then the thing that my dad did was he let me do it. Like he's like, okay, it's your money. Like you'll come to a point where you realize what you're doing is wrong. So now I'm a bit more cautious with how I circulate my money or how, you know, how you use it. But then I'm another guy who's,
Yeah, go ahead.
you're fucking young, right? Like if you're not gonna spend now, when the fuck are you gonna spend? So it's like a balance. You find a balance between.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's true.
we're lucky that we have that safety net, no, with our parents. Like even if we fuck up, usually they're there to make sure that it's not that bad. Like we can afford to make those mistakes,
Yeah.
which is good, because like as long as we appreciate it and shit.
Yeah.
Because that's something even I struggled with, like when I first moved. Knowing what to spend money on, because suddenly you get so much money that you have to handle. It feels like
Yeah.
a few euros there, a few euros here doesn't really hurt. But then over time that shit piles up, and that's something that we have to learn, and something that I feel like I think a lot of us feel was missing in school. Like it was never really something that came up, but then we learn shit like I don't know. Like I honestly would have preferred that to a few other subjects like life competencies or whatever the fuck that was called in grade 6 and shit.
Bro, but for me, A levels is like the time I had the most fun, bro. Like I had fun during A levels. Like those 2 years for me were
True.
properly fun.
No, I feel like the idea of school now is just for experience, though. Like just for the experience of meeting your first set of friends, I guess,
Yeah.
and just bonding, making solid connections, That's what I feel like school. That's when you have tuition on the side to actually learn shit.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think those are the days.
But then it just feels like school is
Like those are the days
Yeah,
where
but go ahead,
stress free was like it was legit stress free. Like I can't even remember like stressing over like an exam.
Fuck your shit, dude. We were probably stressed out about
That's
A
A levels. No, I'm saying like before A levels, right before A levels.
Yeah, before A levels, that's true. Even O levels wasn't that tough. No, when you think about it, like it was pretty chill, dude.
No, but everyone was stressed about O levels. Like
Stressful at the time, but looking back, it's completely different.
no, bro. Even the lead up to O levels, like Jason can remember, we used to fucking stay up and do like papers until like 1, 2.
Oh yeah, dude. Worst part was like when I do this shit with, I think it was you and Evan
Even joined on few days, no?
or somebody. Whatever, we used to do this shit, and then there were some days these bars used to beat me, so I used to purposely change the answer so I get better marks than them.
Well, those are good days.
Sounds like something you would do, dude.
By these buggers, they used
So yeah, I mean,
they used to make that Dubsmash shit.
Oh, fuck.
Bro, that was
Dubsmash. That was like the pre-TikTok era.
Bro, we
pre,
did that shit before. Fuck is TikTok.
That was TikTok.
Fuck is
it just didn't get big.
Yeah, dude. I'm telling you, we could have been Dubsmash stars, dude. We have one Dubsmash star. Bao got pretty popular. He won tickets also
Oh fuck.
for a concert.
Abad kada. Bro, if you're watching this, bro, hit me
Stuff.
up for your-
So yeah, yeah,
Always
Melvin. So we were speaking about hustle and shit. Yeah. So remember Mr. Hustle, loyalty and respect.
Oh, the
John Cena.
OG, bro. Bro, Jason and I have been watching this WWE since like fucking donkey's ages, bro.
Dude, I still love watching
Back
in the
when
day.
it was good.
Back when it was good.
Bro, we used to make those
Now, I mean,
benefits.
what's your thoughts on it now? The pen fight.
Yeah,
bit.
yeah. Bro, now it's more the scripts are bad, dude. Like the script writing is terrible.
Now it's a joke, dude. Like for the most part, they are trying to actually do a good job with it, and sometimes they do, but it's crowded with so much bad
Yeah.
storylines and bad shit. Even the good ones don't stand out.
No, it's
That's
like
why it sucks so much.
they're putting so much into one thing that it's not going together.
Yeah. They're forcing storylines that don't make sense sometimes, and
Yeah.
a comedy that doesn't click.
Dude, I low-key feel like y'all just thought it was cool because y'all were smaller, and now that you have a better idea of things,
That's all.
it's probably been bad all the time.
No, it's
Just
a
that
part
you're
of that
younger.
too. It's a part of that too. Like
No, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, there are movies that I watched as a kid that I thought were fucking amazing. I watched them recently. Dude, they're pretty shit. But I fucking loved them as a kid.
No, I
So
think
maybe.
it plays around about the wrestlers as well. Like back then, it was like it was like a macho kind of thing, right? Like when you see a wrestler, you're like, oh fuck, like Baga has a persona that's very different. Now it's like a fucking joke.
But Melvin,
Yeah.
I know you read a lot of books. As of late, have you read any good shit?
Bro, so the funny part about that is I didn't read a single fucking book my whole school life. Like outside the textbooks and stuff, I never read. But then
Yeah.
I started getting into reading. There's this secondhand bookstore, bro. Like where you go and like it's all old books. I just went to it. Like I liked how it looks. I wanted to take a picture. I went in, and then I got this book. I think I gave the book to you. It was Trump's a book on Trump.
Yeah, Trump's.
Bro,
Yes.
that was a mad book, like on Trump's business mind, like Bagakan political, likewise Baga's fucked. But then
Yeah. Although Trump is an ass now,
Yeah.
he actually had solid content on that book because he's a
Bro,
solid,
that book
proper
was-
businessman.
No, I think he's a proper businessman, no?
Yeah, he's a proper businessman. He's not a good, I know, a politician in a. I don't know. I don't understand his way of running the country. But then to answer your question, Abdul, one proper book I've read
So
is Robin Sharma's 5 a.m. Club. Proper bang of a book. Like I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, I've read two of his. There's another one called The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari. Even that's like it's linked to the 5
Oh, I wanted to read that, dude.
Yeah, I have it.
I wanted to read that, bro.
That's also it's pretty good. Like
One of the most basic. Good.
No, so the book is more like it's a lot about life, but he puts it in a very. It's like it's a story, but there's a lot of life lessons in the story. So that way it keeps you engaged with the book.
No, dude.
Straight up, you know, put it down.
Dude, for me, it's the complete opposite, man. Like, back in school, I used to read so much. Like, I had so many fucking books.
Yeah.
But now I barely read. I don't know what happened. I try reading still, but like I would read stuff online, like an article or something. I would read, but books, no, dude.
Yeah, for me, like to be honest, it's really hard for me to sit down and actually, get a book out and start reading. But like everything has audiobooks now, especially all these popular books. For sure, have audiobooks you can get online, and that shit's like so much helpful, like so much easier than actually reading a book. You can, while traveling or you are getting some work done, you just want to chill out a little bit, you can just play that and you can rest. Because I remember I listened to it's one of the most basic self-help books. It's called Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck. It's one of the most basic self-help books, but
By Mark,
it is one of the best. Yeah, by Mark someone.
I remember the name.
Yeah,
I
that's
was gonna say Zuckerberg, but no. But over audiobooks, dude, I feel like people should actually be listening to podcasts. Like, I think one particular that I would highly recommend is Normalization.
Plug.
Fuck that, Abdul. Cut that.
Bro, plug. But then on podcast, bro, like I listen to a few on Google Podcast. They have like solid stuff on. I listen to this one thing on AI. Like proper guys come on, like guys from Google and guys from Amazon and stuff. They come in like they just share the experience on it. Like it's proper. Rather than reading on it, like listening is way you remember it a lot easier.
Yeah, I think we are more built for that, at least. No, at least I think I am. Like, I'm way better at remembering shit if I watch something or if I like listen to something rather than like just reading it.
No, I started
I
reading
read
because I was like Abdul. Like I could never sit in one place and like read or like sit in one place and do something. So I wanted to challenge, like a challenge I took up was like I'm gonna sit and read something and finish it. Because it was not something I could never do in school because like I always like was running around or doing some dumb shit.
Yeah. No, for sure it's a vibe, dude. For sure it's a vibe. Like certain times I wish I could just sit down and do it. But it's so hard for me to focus. Like legit, our generation's attention span is pretty trash.
Bro, that's
Dude, it's really
No
bad.
joke.
Like, even mine's really bad, dude.
Bro, I think
The average attention span of a human is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. Believe it or not.
That's 420.
That's pretty shit.
I don't think Jason just made that up.
Yes.
No. Dude, David Dobrik told me.
Fucking
Told you.
You can't tease Tuk Stories and then not tell us at least one, dude.
So I went somewhere.
Like, we should.
Wait, I'm trying to think of a really good one. Okay, so one story was like where this bar gave me like a solid advice. Bro. So I was going from, I think after chem class, I got a talk in the night and I was like, this bar asked me where I was coming from. And I was like, I was after class. And then he's like, he's from Kandy. And he's been working since he was 15 because his father died. And he's been providing for the family ever since he was 15. And he's like, he always liked to study, but he could never study and he could never land a proper job. And he was just telling me, it's like, in Sinhala, he told me like, I'm telling you this as a brother. Please stay in school, like take your education seriously. If not, you're gonna end up as me. Like that blew my fucking mind, bro. Because like he just put himself down, like just to encourage me to continue studying and getting an education there. Like I would never meet another person who would put himself down like that and like try to teach a lesson to a 15 or 16-year-old kid who's barely being able to communicate with him in Sinhala. And he was like, see, don't worry about it. Like just try to figure yourself out. But then don't leave when you're as you grow up, you'll figure more things out. But don't, no matter what, don't let your education go. And for me, at like doing A levels at that point, like I still remember that because I used to think like I don't like it's selfish in a way, but then I didn't want to end up like him. Like I took his advice. Like he's like you either study or you end up like doing a job like this. But then that coming from a like I felt like that came from a very genuine heart where he genuinely wanted someone not to go through the hardships he's going. So I don't think at that like at 16, someone else who's having like a corporate job or who has a business that's thriving would take time off their schedule and give you advice like that.
Yeah, that is of course true. Usually it's these like, I don't know how to put it in a way that it's not. But the people who are less fortunate are the ones that really take their time to make sure that other people don't, I don't know, either know about the things that they faced and what led them to be where they are, or make sure that other people don't make the same mistakes they made. Because sometimes it's not really a mistake, but then they were just unlucky and like this guy, for example, his dad passed away, and he had to do what he did. So I mean, you can't really fault him for that.
It takes a big heart to share an experience like that, bro. A complete stranger. Like I'm pretty sure he wouldn't have
Definitely.
thought how it would impact me, but then it still takes I would say a lot of courage to come out and be like, I fucked up, but then I'm trying to make sure you don't. That's a quality that I feel like a lot of people lack, being able to put yourself in a position to share something like that. But then like my greatest thing like in the last 2 years was meeting this guy. Like I posted a picture of the bug also when I went to India like 2 years ago. So we went on this hike, right? We went on like a one and a half hour hike. Like it's up a mountain and there's literally a small village like this, and like a home for elders or something like that. And then there's this dude, bro, like right on top. There's this dude. I can't remember his name. Like it's there on my fucking eyes. Like I spoke to him and I was like, he has never been to school, bro. He has never left the village, and he doesn't have a roof over his head. But in that moment, like he was so happy. Like he was so happy and content with himself. He was like, in life, you can have a lot of things, but if you don't have peace of mind, none of it matters. Like the amount
that is.
This is coming from a dude
That's so true, dude.
School, bro.
There's so many people that have a ton of cash and have everything by their side, everything physical that they would want by their side, but they still can't, find peace, or they still can't, just be happy in the moment. And they're always craving for more. Like, it's always good to crave for more, in the sense you want to grow and you want to be a better person and you want to prosper and shit. But it also sucks that you can't be satisfied with what you have, even at a position like with all these people that are successful already or have a lot of money. So it's very interesting, that dynamic of different people and how they view satisfaction and happiness.
I think that was like one of the biggest lessons I've learned like last 2 years, was being, no matter what stage you're at in life, maintaining that sense of peace and satisfaction within yourself. Because if that's not there, you'll be chasing things, and like none of it is gonna give you that satisfaction. You'll be keep chasing your whole life. If you're not satisfied with what you already have and what you're capable of doing.
I think that's because people don't really achieve that balance, no, of always striving for more, but then making sure that what they have now is still satisfying them. Because it's because it is all like, if you think about it, it's obviously a hard balance to achieve, right? Like there are always people, like when you try to motivate someone, people are always saying, strive for more, like go for more, like if you achieve this goal, no, don't settle for that, just go for the next goal. That's what people say when they're motivating. But the thing is, sometimes people take that too far, and that leads them always being unsatisfied with what they
Dissatisfied.
already
Yeah.
have. Exactly, like, and I don't know, that's maybe something that I guess motivators don't really think about when they say it, because people could take it too far. That's all. Like there's always a balance with anything.
Yeah, like no, I think when you're on that whole, you're working hard, you're progressing towards a goal. You sometimes start ignoring like red flags. Like you're pushing a button, but then you're so into the goal that you tend to not look at those red flags, and you feel like you still can keep going. But then at the end of the day, no matter what you have, if you don't have that kind of peace of mind within yourself, I don't think the things around you would last either.
Mervyn, what do you think about like teens and kids who are in school and university, always going through so much stress and pressure just because they have been forced to do a particular degree or a particular job or whatnot, or just pass an exam. Like it's like our generation now, they find it so hard to actually live their life because they're so pressured into so many things and all these goals set by their parents or relatives or just extended family, and they struggle so much.
Okay, so bro, that it's more like stress management is. I think it's a key thing that's not properly taught to anyone. Like I don't think there's like I've never seen an article or and a person coming and talking to you about stress management. Whereas like especially when you're
Stress
18
management.
to when you're 18, right? You make a huge decision on what you want to do with your career. But
Yeah.
I've seen career management skills or some bullshit that's there right after A levels. But then there's no medium that shows you how to handle stress when you're in uni or when you're working a job, because you're starting a new life, right? Right after 18, you're being exposed to the real what society really is. So at that point, I think there should be some kind of contact point where they tell you how to get involved in the process of it. Like for you, stress
Yeah.
comes in when you're either behind the process or you're trying to fasten the process. That's when you get stressed out, saying, "Oh fuck, like I'm behind a deadline, or I'm working too hard for a deadline. I'm putting too much energy into one project." Like I feel like that's where stress really comes in. But whereas if someone comes and tells you, you don't have to uh, put so much pressure on yourself, that things will work out. Like especially in a degree, right? Like let's say you're in a situation where you're not really sure uh, what kind of career path you're really into. So when you're in a situation like that, there are so many opinions that are thrown at you. Like that, for me, that adds to your stress as well, because then you start thinking, okay, should I go this way or should I go that way? Like there's so much input that's been put into you, where it starts hitting you. Like you start second guessing yourself, like am I doing the right thing, or am I in the right career path and stuff like that. But like my advice to anyone who's in a space where you really don't know what you're doing, I
Yeah.
think that's like you should take that as an advantage and try like a fuck ton of things. Like we are in an age
Yeah.
where
Yeah. Yeah.
even if you try and you fuck up, it's fine. Like you still can catch up. Like there's enough
Yeah,
time to
but we
catch up.
should
Like
normalize that kind of shit, dude. Like failing exams and shit like that. Obviously there's so much. I don't know how to put this, but say you fail a certain exam, whether you're in school or you're in uni, there's so much negative attention drawn towards you. Say like even the position system that is uh, what do you call, done by every single school, that kind of thing. Also, don't you think it makes you feel like you're not as worth as you think you are. I don't know if I even said it right, but all that kind of shit should be lessened in a sense. Like people, schools should realize that they need to reduce the pressure they put on students to perform at a high level, like everyone else, and grading them to that level, and stuff like that. You should normalize just failing exams and how you get over with failure, how you get over
Spe-
rejection, failure, stuff like that. That should be stuff that is actually taught you in school, rather than actually trying to be in the top five best students in the class.
and
But
especially
with that.
because especially because of the way they test us, no, like it's a very rigid system. They test us on very specific things, and there are certain things that people are more skillful at or more talented in that at least in like in Sri Lankan schools are not really being tested. So then when these guys do bad in school, they think they think that they're not good enough or some shit like that. Whereas it's like that. You've seen that old picture, right, of where there's like a bunch of like animals, and it's basically saying if you test a fish on its ability to climb a tree, it's gonna live its life thinking it's useless. It's That's exactly it, and that's how schools work. Schools would test you on like these academical things which not everyone is good at, and that's completely fine. But then parents put pressure, and
No, I think it's mostly there's no space, like there's no place for a guy who is like, they say he's like either last in class or like in that, like towards the end. There's no place for him in school, like within school. Like you're just branded as, okay, you're dumb. Like
yeah,
like I've seen so many people call like guys like that, like you're dumb, like what are you doing? You get it? So they lose that sense of identity. Like they think that they're dumb. Like they say teachers keep calling you dumb. Like your friends keep calling you dumb. Like you'll stop trying eventually. You will just accept yourself that you're dumb.
yeah, dude. Kids are afraid to bring their report cards home and show their parents, what kind of grade they've got or what kind of this thing. It should be the other way. The kids should be excited to show them because they know their family or their parents are gonna support them no matter what. Like like there are countless number of stories where kids change their grades before they get home, or they alter their marks or alter their grades. Okay, it's a funny concept, and it's a troll and stuff. But also, it's solely based on the fact that they're just afraid to bring it home.
No, I think that's also it comes to what kind of like atmosphere you have at home as well, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So that plays like a huge part in. But then, like overall, I feel like there should be more importance given into letting know kids that it's okay to fail and it's okay to make mistakes, and that's like the key thing to learning. Like, but like I'm a huge guy that like I believe that it's okay to make mistakes, but it's never okay to make the same mistake twice, because then you're just fooling yourself. You're not really learning, or you're not really grasping anything out of the first error. But then it depends. Though.
I think recently Abdul and I had a conversation with one of our friends who we didn't know he had failed a subject, and then we were asking him about like the other people he goes to uni with, and then he was like, because the people in his batch are ending this year, and I think he's ending another year because he has failed a subject, and then he like delivered it in such a like how do you say, like a embarrassed kind of way,
Embarrassed.
where
Yeah, yeah,
he
yeah.
didn't want Abdul and I to hear it, and like all we could say was like it's okay to fail now, but then his response was like it's okay for him to fail, but what would his parents and his family think? When you hear shit like that, you know that it's a serious problem, that it's not accepted,
Yeah,
that
it's it's
failure is
it's
not
it's
accepted.
entirely fine. Like the people that are graduating won't be able to get a job anyways. Like I'm not trying to hate on the people that are graduating and that are doing shit already, getting shit done. But you don't have to be so upset that you can't finish it within a certain period of time, or finish a degree within a certain period of time. I mean that's not a personal matter to me because I'm stuck in fucking home doing nothing.
same.
But it shouldn't be like a race to finish your degree, get a job, get married.
Yeah. No, bro, I think
Exactly.
mostly it's like how you're so worried about what other people portray you. Because this is something that I struggled with, like post my whole this thing few years ago. Like I was so worried about what people would think of me now, right? Like that used to give me so much. This thing, it went around a lot, and like I had so many stories about it. Like I wanted to clear my name out in a sense. You get it? So like I spent a lot of months trying to like it was a weird kind of space for me at that point because I didn't want people thinking of me in different ways, right? Because like I've had people tell me like fucking weird fucking stories like that I don't even recollect. So you like the main thing at that point was you start to think of what people will like how they would look at you. So I think when you talk about failing and stuff as well, right? It's the whole idea of going and facing like your peers at work or your colleagues at uni. Like the whole idea of like, okay, he failed or he fucked up or something like that. But then you get to a space where you're like, if you're not comfortable with your past, it's gonna fuck up your present and you're fucking up your future as well because you're hanging on to that one thing that happened to you in your past. Whereas you like my thing that I was able to understand is it's just one thought that you're holding on to. You're holding on to one thought or one aspect of your life where you feel like it's overtaking everything else of your everything around you as well. But in the moment you identify that main thought and you're like, you know what happened. You take whatever good you can take from it and be like, you're not gonna. The main thing is you have to hold yourself accountable. Like let's say you failed a subject, you hold yourself accountable that you're not gonna fail it again. So you do that and you be like, you can't change anyway. You can't change anything that happened before, right? You take that good thing off it and be like, fuck it, like whatever people think, let them think it. And then like the thing I had was like it's like something personal, like I from what I tell myself is I've seen rock bottom, like I've experienced some kind of rock bottom in my life. So the thing that motivates me now is like I'm chasing a mountaintop that even I don't know what it is, but like I'm still chasing it because like I know how it feels to be at that kind of a low kind of few months. So I think that's what most people are afraid of. Like once you go through a bad experience, you tend to think of too many things that are really not
Relevant or that
relevant.
matter too much. Yeah.
And then like when you're out of that space, you start to look back and be like, oh, fuck, like all those thoughts were like your own overthinking and your own rational. Like you try to rationalize a lot of things. But in the end, I feel like if you're comfortable with who you are and if you don't really care about what people think of you or what people might think of you, I think that's when you come to this sense of freedom.
Okay, Melvin, you have been an amazing guest for our podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. You are the definition of hustle in my mind. Do you have any last words before we end it?
Thanks for having me, boys. Fucking been a good talk, and I think if there's something that anyone who's watching can take out of it, that'll be great. And one thing I want to put out there is anyone's going through some kind of struggle or something that is struggling with, my inbox is always open. Hit me up. Let's have a chat. There's nothing that I don't think that's not solvable. If you're struggling with anything, like you can hit any one of the boys up. We're pretty sure we'll try to help you out and try to sort something out for you. So that's my message. Just chill out, do what you wanna do, and fucking live life, bro. Got one life, fucking live it.
You're an OG, dude. Thank you so much for joining us. And this is the end of episode 11. Episode 12.
12. So, since this is the 12th episode, we decided that we're going to go on a small break, mid-season break. And it'll be for 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, yes. You want to chill out a little bit?
We want to take a break.
A lot of effort, a lot of physical time.
It's been fun, though. It's been fun.
Yes.
We're really enjoying it. And again, we're really thankful for everyone who's watching, everyone who's subscribed, everyone who's following Instagram. Twitter, not so much, but that'll grow with time. But yeah, see you guys after the break.